Welcome to another episode of Unlocking the Mind Behind Make More, Work Less. Hi, my name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also a best-selling author. And every single day, I help others unlock potentials and guide them to succeed. Today on Unlocking the Mind, we talk about another cognitive bias. And the reason why we have this show is because we can better understand how our minds work, how we can make better decisions, how we can build better relationships, and also prevent ourselves from falling into cognitive traps. So for today's cognitive bias, let me ask you a question. Have you ever walked into a sports bar or into a stadium, and once you saw somebody else wearing that same team jersey that you're cheering for, you instantly have that rapport and you feel like great friends? You can high five them, you can hug them, you can go, hey, let's go, and all that kind of stuff, and you already have that rapport. I have. Have you ever gone into a conference and you notice somebody else who was wearing that a pin lapel or something that has the flag of your country? And you instantly gravitated to them and say, "Hey, you're from this place? I am too. Let's chat." Instantly build rapport. Well, I have too. So the thing is, what exactly is that? Well, that is in-group bias or in-group favoritism. And that is where you're favoring members of one's in-group over out-group members. Now, this could be very dangerous at times, but the thing is, when we recognize it, we're able to build more fairness. We're able to prevent it from really becoming that negative effect. Now, the thing is, when it comes to this kind of stuff, sometimes there's some favoritism, there's some biases, there's a lot of judgment, there's a lot of, it might lead to racism, prejudice, and all that kind of stuff. So we have to try and avoid that kind of behavior and kind of avoid that kind of mindset. But the thing is, sometimes in-group bias has lots of positive as well. It builds rapport right away. You instantly feel you're part of a group. You instantly feel you know something about them. You can relate to them. And that's why it's always advantageous that when you go into a group and you're going to speak to a group or you're going to meet a new group, even going into interviews, it's always nice to know a little bit about that group. It's always nice to know a little bit about those people who are going to be interviewing you so you can build that rapport. For instance, I went to this one interview process where I realized that those people were actually big fans of Star Wars. So I started making some references and jokes to Star Wars, and instantly there was some rapport. We could kind of make fun. It felt very comfortable. It builds that relationship, and it just makes things so much more easier. Similarly, when you're going to a group of people and you're going to speak at that event, so for instance, I spoke at a few events in Singapore and Nigeria, I made sure I wore the colors of that country, I wore the colors of that city, or I made sure I knew a little bit about the city or the country so that before I go there, I already know a little bit about them and I can build that rapport. So that's why it makes it so important that you have to understand some of the little background information before you go into a certain situation. So you could have a little bit of that in-group bias or in-group favoritism. They'll relate to you. Similarly, let's say if you were going to a conference and you were going to talk about how great your products are or how great your services are, it's always nice to have some testimonials from the same type of people that's in the audience so that they can relate to those people who are already your clients and you can see themselves working with you too. So that's why it's so important when it comes to in-group biases and in-group favoritism. And that's also the reason why sometimes people won't work with you because they feel that they're not part of that group. If they don't see certain testimonials or certain relations between them and your clients and them to you, then they may not even work with you, even if you have the best product. And that will be the negative side of in-group bias, because it then leads to being judgmental. It then leads to all this negativity. It might lead to racism and all kinds of stuff. But the thing is, once we recognize this, once we recognize that's how our minds work, we could start kind of going away from it. We could start preventing ourselves from falling into that trap where it becomes a negative effect. But once we know how it could be for positives, we could utilize that. We can make it to our advantage. We could also benefit more people when we understand how to use it for good. So that is in-group bias or in-group favoritism. And if you like this episode, please go back and watch some of my other episodes on unlocking the mind. And also, if you like this show, I have a lot of other shows, the Make More Mind Bites, the Peak Potential Success Show, and also the Master Mind Bites that's up every single week. So until next time, please like, subscribe, and comment. I love seeing those comments. And until next time, today is the day to unlock your peak potential. We'll see you later.